Today we are going to talk all about disembarkation at the end of your cruise, everything you need to know and have in mind so that you have a smooth disembarkation, and everything you need to keep in mind as well if you keep an eye on your credit card, as well as if you have had anything confiscated, either as you embarked on your cruise or during the course of your voyage. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. I would like to start off by inviting you to please subscribe to our channel. We would love to have you with us, and I think you will really enjoy being part of the conversation. Our channel is all about talking about cruising, traveling to do with cruising, some extra travel thrown in there, but lots of really useful information, and we appreciate everything that you will share with all of us as well. Also, if you appreciate these updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up as well? Now let's talk about disembarkation. So you've had a wonderful cruise, and finally the day comes that you are ready to disembark the ship and head off on more travels or head home. So a few things to keep in mind about how all of this works. First of all, a few days before you disembark your cruise, you are going to receive some information from customer service. They are going to give you a sheet that includes information all about disembarkation as well as luggage tags. So as you embark on your ship, you are familiar that you put the luggage tags on your luggage so that they get it correctly to your stateroom. Well, at the end of the cruise, you have a couple of options. You can either hold on to all of your luggage and then take it off the ship with you, as just take it straight from your stateroom, get off the ship and head on to your next location. Or you can have the crew members take your luggage, you put it out in the hall the night before, and it shows up in the cruise terminal the next morning. They put it there for you. So what you will do in that instance is you will put your luggage out by the time that it is indicated on this sheet, and then the next morning you will proceed to disembark and pick up your luggage in the cruise terminal and carry on that way. The luggage tags that they give you, notice that there's a color and a number. This is Navy 5. So when I go in the morning to find our luggage in the cruise terminal, they have all of these signs with the colors and the numbers, and then you go to that place and you will find your luggage. That is how that works. So you can either do it that way. Please be aware, do know that if you decide that you are going to disembark and take your own luggage with you, you don't want to put it out in the hall the night before, you want to keep it with you, that it is your responsibility to get all of that luggage off the ship through border patrol for whatever country you're going to, and then on your way. The crew members here, your cabin steward, and everyone else on the ship is not available to help you get your luggage off the ship. So if you don't want to manage your own luggage getting off, make sure that you put it out the night before. This evening on the Island Princess, this letter indicated to please have it out by 9 p.m. Now, if anything unexpected happens and you don't have it out by 9:15, don't think that all is lost. Just get it out in the evening, okay? And they will get it for you and take it down. Gordon and I always try really hard to get it out as close to that time as we can to make everything go much smoother for the crew members. So keep that in mind. So that's kind of the two ways that you're going to get your luggage off of the ship and carry on your travels. Alrighty. Another really important thing to note is that there are different ways to disembark. All right. So if you want to be able to get off the ship the earliest that you can and be on your way, you need to do that self-assist. Okay, that is always what happens earliest. So you will note that here on the back of this page, it lists every one of these tags and the numbers, and it tells you where to be when and what you're called. So for example, walk off 1 is self-assist disembarkation. You have to be in the Provence dining room on deck 6 midship at 6:45, alrighty? And like I said, that is self-assist, so you're going to take all your luggage with you. Note that they asked you to be there at 6:45, and my guess is that disembarkation will be sometime between 6:45 and 7-ish, okay? When the ship is due to be back into Southampton at 6 a.m., and it really just depends on how long it takes to do all of the paperwork and everything that has to be processed to be able to allow passengers to disembark. They don't just pull into a port, put down the gangway, and then people can get off. There is a process to that. And so when you are scheduling your plane tickets, be aware of that. And when we were getting off the Island Princess here in Southampton in July, it was super smooth. It went really, really well. And so I think that bodes really well for what we will see tomorrow. Although I have been in some ports, and it was in Fort Lauderdale last year, it was really slow at disembarkation. The facial recognition either wasn't working or they didn't have it in the one that we were on, and it took a long time to be able to disembark. So don't cut it too close with your flights. I know it's hard to hang out in an airport all day, but also don't book a flight that is really just backed up against when the ship is going to get into port. So that's a side note. So some of the things that you need to be aware as you prepare to get off of the ship. Alrighty, so we've got that self-assist way to get off. Another important way to get off is if you need help with a wheelchair, they will help you with that. And so the crew members will. But you have to do it in the way that they ask. On the Island Princess here, and it varies by ship, so make sure you read this paper. But for example, tomorrow, if you need help with a wheelchair disembarking, you just need to go to the Good Spirits, which is on deck 5 there, right in the Piazza area, 15 minutes before your disembarkation time. And so be prepared, just go there, and then they will help you off the ship, and then from there you can get your luggage and proceed forward. Another important thing to notice is that they do have a special lounge for people who are have a suite, who have those reserve collection mini suites, and also for passengers who are elite and platinum. On this ship, you go to the Explorers Lounge, which happens to be here, it says deck 6 aft, and you're going to wait there until they call your group to disembark. So for example, with this, they'll call Navy 5 to disembark, alrighty? Be aware that when you go to the Suite, Elite, Platinum, Reserve Collection Lounge, they are going to check your medallion to make sure that you qualify to be in that lounge. At least they have every time that we have gone. So just to make you aware of that. Another really important thing is that there are certain things that they don't allow on a cruise ship. And if you happen to have brought any of those with you and they confiscate them at embarkation, or if you've bought anything in port that you cannot keep with you on the ship, but they will give you as you disembark the ship, which that could be things like wine. If you buy alcoholic beverages as you're in port on a cruise, then they will keep it for you. As you board the ship again in that port, you check it in with them, and then when you disembark, they will send it with you. Those items, what you do is as you're disembarking at the gangway there, you ask security about them. You'll have a receipt for it, and then they will return it to you, okay? Another really important thing to note, and this kind of goes with the whole disembarkation thing as well, is that your credit card or your debit card, as you charge things, as you board the ship, you have that credit card or debit card that all of the charges are going to go to that you make on your shipboard account. And you might get on and say, well, I don't need to put a credit card because I'm not going to buy anything. They require that you have a card that is attached to your account. And if you don't buy anything, it's okay. But as you buy things, then it's going to start to put a hold on money on your account. And those charges will eventually settle as they settle your bill at the end of the cruise, but some of the money that they hold might not disappear from your card for 5 to 7 business days. This paper says that, and I have also noticed that. Okay, so keep that in mind. And a really important thing to remember with that is that they do that. And so if you have a checking account, make sure that there's enough money in there to cover what you're doing. I really think it's important, and this is just me. I'd love to hear about this in the comments from all of you. I think it's important. I know some people don't like to use credit cards. Gordon and I use credit cards. We have the habit that we pay them off every month. But keep in mind that if anything accidentally gets charged to your account that should not be charged to your account, if it's with your debit card, that's a really hard thing to argue about and come out on top, right? But if it's with your credit card company, it gives you another layer that you can dispute the charges, and you have someone else advocating for you and helping straighten out the whole situation. So keep that in mind, all right? And also on the Island Princess, they had a kiosk to print out your stateroom, your ledger. And so this evening we went looking for it, and Gordon had looked for it before and couldn't find it. So finally we just went to customer service, because I know we've been looking at it and taking screenshots on our app all week, but we wanted a printed out copy, and they have taken away that kiosk. At customer service, they said that it was just giving them lots of headaches. It wasn't functioning properly, and so they took it out. I don't know if another one's coming back, but at customer service, they were very kind and printed out a paper copy for us. So we have got that in addition to the screenshots of our account. And so just hang on to things like that. Have that before you disembark, so that if crazy charges show up later, then you have got proof of what it was before, and that will help you get everything straightened out. Alrighty, so now it's disembarkation morning. On this paper, it tells you what time you're going to be able to have your breakfast. And so the Bordeaux dining room and Sabatini's for the suite guests is going to be open from 6:30 to 8:30 a.m. and the Horizon Court Buffet up on the top of the ship, that's going to be open from 5:30 in the morning until 8:30 in the morning. They really want you to be out of your staterooms by 8 o'clock if you can, because the room stewards have so much work to do to get everything ready to welcome the next guests aboard. So there are lots of lounge areas that you can wait on the ship. You can go have your breakfast and enjoy sitting wherever you'd like to sit as you wait for your time to disembark. Alrighty. Another really important thing to remember is that when you go to disembark the ship, make sure that if you are on Princess, that you have your medallion handy. If you are on another cruise line, make sure that you've got your cruise card, because you have to swipe that, or you know how you always put it on the thing, so that they know that you are off the ship. So don't pack it away or think that you don't need it anymore. You need it to get off the ship, and then you can tuck it away. Also have your passport really handy in case they need it. Like I said, a lot of ports now have the facial recognition as you enter the United States, and some other places as well. And so often you don't need your passport, but I always have ours right on top of my Vera Bradley bag, just right handy in case we do need it. So that comes in handy. And then the other thing to remember is, so go to your lounge and just keep listening for the time that it's time for you to disembark. If you totally miss your time, go ahead and go, alrighty? But keep an eye on the clock. You don't want to be really late. For example, tomorrow we are going to go on the Princess Transfer, their bus shuttle service that runs from the port up to Heathrow Airport. And so we are going to pay attention to the time so that we don't miss it. I don't want to miss it. And so keep in mind that you really need to keep an eye on the time and don't be late. But we're supposed to be there around at 8 o'clock, I think, to the lounge. And so if for any reason we're late after that, then I'll just know to go ahead and go and disembark and get our luggage and get going and look for a shuttle that's going to Heathrow. That's a really important thing to remember. And then as they call your group, then you just move along. They will direct you so that you know where the gangway is to disembark. Once you come, they're really nice. In every port that I have ever been in, they have people pointing you in the direction that you need to go to where you collect your luggage, and then to leave the cruise terminal. And as you leave the cruise terminal, they'll have someone directing you to where the transfers are or the taxis are. They have people giving you good directions so that you know where to go. When you get your luggage, make sure that you have all of your luggage. If you have quite a bit of luggage, or you would like help, or your time to go through border patrol there to go really smoothly, it's a great idea to get a porter. I have talked about porters before. They're awesome. They're usually standing around with their carts, and you just wave and they come and they'll put all of your luggage on the cart, and usually they have a separate lane to take you out so that you don't have to wait in the really long line to be able to go through security, through passport control, to be able to get out of the cruise terminal. Alrighty. And so I can't remember there being any. We didn't use any in Southampton when we were here in July, so I'll keep my eye out tomorrow and tell you. Usually we use them. I just used one in the port of Brooklyn, and I told those of you who were here with me, it worked perfectly. It happened to be pouring down rain, and he just took good care of my luggage, navigated everything. I got me right up to the bus and took care of my luggage. And you do give them a good tip when I always give a porter a tip, but it's a really good option. It saved me a lot of time waiting in line, and it saved me dragging my luggage in the rain. I could not have held onto my coat and stayed dry if I had been trying to manage my 2 pieces of luggage. So that's a tip, okay? If you have a really early flight, you're gonna wanna do the self-assist and have a car waiting for you, a car service, or schedule your Uber in advance, or be ready for a taxi. And I'll pay attention to how many taxis there are tomorrow. There were lots of taxis when we were here, so I think that there will always be plenty of taxis available here. When I was just in Brooklyn a few weeks ago, gosh, that's almost a month ago now, that cruise started. Time just goes by. But anyway, there were lots of taxis waiting there as people disembarked, so a taxi would have been really easy to get there as well and get right up to the airport. Remember, when you are flying internationally, to be to the airport earlier than usual, especially if you are flying from a country that is not your home country. So when we fly out of the United States, we get to the airport early, but when we fly out of like Heathrow or Paris or anywhere, London, Heathrow, anyway, anywhere that is not our home country, I always add in extra time in case anything takes longer than we expect. So keep that in mind as well. The arrivals hall at Southampton. You know, I don't think they have regular porters here. So as soon as you get through security, we're in Terminal 3. That right here is where you've got shopping available. Lots of different things. I think it's really fun. They've got some Christmas things up already. This is just marvelous. Even if you're not buying anything, it's so pretty. Have gift sets. Oh, how fun is that? Sparkle this Christmas. Have any questions about disembarkation, just let me know. I am really happy to answer your questions. It actually goes really smoothly, but I just kind of wanted to break it down for you because it can be daunting if it's your very first time and you're wondering how it all works. So I'm really excited to we are excited to go home. We have had the trip of a lifetime to go see the Northern Lights, to be able to travel with the amazing group that we traveled with. This has been a really special voyage and one that we won't ever forget. And it's been lovely of you to come along with us. So I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.